Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to All About Racing for the 7th round of the season at the Mexico City Grand Prix in the heart of Mexico City, 7,000 feet above sea level, and the circuit is 4.304 kilometers and 2.67 miles in length. 17 corners around the circuit, 7 to the left and 10 to the right. We're going to race 36 laps around this circuit, 3 DRS zones around this place as well, from the final corner down towards turn 1 and then turn 3 to 4, and then down into turn 11, out of turn 11, sorry, into turn 12. The C4 soft, C3 medium and C2 hard tyre are the tyre of choice for this evening's race. Matty in the lead of the Drivers' Championship on 213 points comfortably at the moment, followed by Prof on 167 points. Good evening, Vasil. And Never Fear on 156 points. 143 for Cold Steel. Rumsky on 133. Looney Man 123. Perry 120 in 7th. Grant 8th on 103. 102 for Atmos in 9th, who is back finally. And 10th is Matt F1. And the constructors are Aston Martin on 320. We've got 281 for Williams, 250 for Racing Bulls, 247 in 4 for Haas. 5th is Sauber on 245, so only 2 points behind. Then Alpine, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Red Bull down in 10th. Bear me a moment with the telemetry. It does this every time, but I think I've got a fix to get it to work. Get it to work last time. See if it does it again. So Atmos, Cold Steel out of the pit lane. As Cold Steel starts his opening lap. Just coming down towards turn 4. Doesn't seem to be working today, unfortunately, through the final few corners. Oh, might have got it to work. There we go. Thank you for your patience. 14.5 minutes left on the clock. First lap time on the board of 15.5 for Cold Steel. Look at next. We'll keep an eye on Matt F1. As he comes out of the final corner and goes third fastest, 16.1 for Matt F1 there. Raf just starting his lap. We'll stick with him. As he comes into turn 1, 2 and 3, using a lot of the curb down on the inside. I suppose he didn't get a track limit for that one. Thunder goes up to second. We've got Pray for Yeet, who's just gone through there into 5th place as well. Raf just makes his way through the middle sector, a bit of traffic up ahead. And Rumsky crossing the line takes provisional pole of 15.3, might get into the high 14s towards the end of the session. Finished the lap with a 1:16.2 in the end. His Prof comes up towards the line, second in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. 4 fastest runs of 15.7 overall for Prof. On a lap and comes into the pits. So, anyone else on a lap? Sorry for radio silence there. Thunder, I think he might be on a lap. He is down there in the first sector, 2/10. So Thunder abandons that lap. Diablo out on an out lap as well. So is Slade. Diablo just starts his first lap. Turn 1, nice line through there, and 2 as well. Pretty perfect for all three of those turns in the chicane. Moving from the left to the right hand side, breaking around 100-metre board. It was a 27.8 in the first section. It was fastest overall from the man. Here he comes into the S section. So kind of middle sector lap time he can do. If we get to mid-28 in that middle sector, which he does, not 28.8, and he does go a bit slower in that middle sector over other people, which suggests he might be running slightly less downforce than other people, so these last 2 sectors will be more of a struggle when he's set up more for the race, so keep an eye out for that with his setup. Is safe, crosses the line again, and Diablo goes 13th overall. It was quick in that first sector. Cold Steel halfway through a lap here, but he's down on his previous attempt. As he is up, just made a bit of time. Purple middle sector, just over half a tenth up in that second sector in his overall lap. It was a 28 dead in that middle sector. Round the final corner, slight touch of understeer, missing the curve, and then getting a bit of oversteer for good measure out of the final corner as well. With 8 minutes left on the clock, he does go that little bit faster as his teammate behind crosses the line as well. Atmos with his return to the grid. 10th and a half away from his teammate. Gandalf goes fastest overall with a higher 15.3 than Rumsky's, who is just inside the 15.3, so he's on another lap, but he's slower in that first sector. Driver struggling to keep the pace in those opening few corners and straights. As he comes out of the sequence of corners, he is up with a personal best in the second sector, 0.022 of a second up out of sector 2 as he comes around the stadium section into the final couple of corners of 16 and 17, and across the line he comes. He goes even faster again, just by 2/1000ths of a second to Gandalf's time. The Welshman, Looney Man, goes just behind his English teammate with a 1:15.8. The Aston Martin duo leading the Constructors' Championship as it stands. The two Brits in the British manufacturer are winning as it stands, with only a handful of rounds to go after this one. So, Mass F1 appears to be going quicker in the second sector as well. As he comes into the final corner. Looks to be a decent time. 16 dead. There is room for improvement though. We'll have another lap to get it done, never fear. Down in that first sector, keep saying it over and over again. Drivers not able to improve after their initial laps through the S section, through 10 and 11, DRS open, down towards 10-12 into that stadium section as we turn 90 degrees right-handed, using all the curve and going over the orange sausage curve as well, and almost getting to the farthest right-hand side of turn 14. And now to the final corner we go. Across the line, he goes 5th fastest. Never fear, 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship as it stands. He goes 5th fastest overall with a smidge under 5 minutes left to go on the clock. Most people into the pit. Slave just out of sync from everyone else. He's obviously seen a bit of grass because there is an awful lot of dirt on the underneath of the side pods as he comes out of the final corner. Just over 4 minutes left on the clock, and we'll see if he can improve. The stage will be his for this lap. His drivers will be coming out on their out laps shortly. I would imagine there are a few who have come out slightly early on. So, final few corners coming up for Slade with just over 3 minutes left on the clock. The majority of the field still in the pits, so they'll all be starting to stream out as we speak. As Slade will be the first one to set the benchmark. He has got fuel to go again, maybe just if he eases off the throttle, but I think that might be it for him, and Slade goes 8th fastest overall. Apologies if you heard me in the background, I haven't been able to hear it. I'm surprised. Sorry about that. So, Slade cutting over the grass here. Is he trying to get back to get another lap in? I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not sure if he's allowed to be cutting the grass like he is there. Prof now coming around the final couple of corners, 16, 17. This is to complete a lap. It's personal best overall, and he goes on top by about half a tenth, and then just after that Gandalf goes even faster. We might get into those high 114s as we get to the end of the session. Everyone else are on their outlaps as we speak. PPE has retired early on. Slave into the pits. He won't be able to get back out in time. We've still got just over a minute and a half left on the clock, so drivers will not see the checkered flag, and they will finish their laps early on. Just keep an eye who is potentially on laps. Prof and Gandalf, they've done their laps. I think Cold Steel might genuinely be one of the first drivers. He is. Then it's his teammate Atmos after that. We'll keep an eye on others around, sorry. Cold Steel coming into the final few corners now. He's up on his lap. Overall, in the past couple of sectors, we'll wait to see what Atmos can do as well. As he comes across the line, he is just up, but it's still 4th place, and Atmos goes on to the front row with a 1:15.1. Prof is in the ideal spot here in Mexico, 3rd place. Here comes Rumsky. Matty as well. He's on a lap. There's a checkered flag now comes out. Is Rumsky going to be able to take back his provisional pole from earlier on? He is up in the 2nd sector, and he only goes 3rd fastest, but maybe the position you want to be in. Matty has already crossed the line. Waiting for others now. Thunder, he is coming up to the line as well. Diablo again going quick in that 1st sector. Here comes Thunder up to the line. It's 3 tenths faster. It's 5th place overall. A very, very good lap from him there. And who is next up? It's the Williams of Oraf. He stays where he is, however. Matt F1 and Looney Man, he's up in a minute as well. As Matt F1 crosses the line, he's 2 and a bit tenths faster. It stays 14th. Here comes Diablo. He goes up to 10th as we wait for Looney Man, who I think is the last man to cross the line. Is anyone going to be able to pit Gandalf to pole? No, Looney Man comes into the pits. That's the end of qualifying here in Mexico. Gandalf on pole for the first time this season. What a performance in qualifying from the McLaren driver in Mexico City. We'll be back in a moment for the start of the formation lap. Gandalf on pole. Atmos in second. Third place is Rumsky and takes that coveted third place. Marshy rounds out the 16 drivers, starting last with a 1:16.444, and we're about 1.5 seconds between the field. We'll be back at the start of the formation lap. So, start of the formation lap. 15 drivers on the hard tyre, 15 drivers on the medium tyre, 1 driver on the hard tyre. We're going to be looking at potentially a 2-stop strategy. Drivers starting on the mediums could go around 14 laps onto the hards for 22 or so, 13, 23, something like that, maybe a bit of a tyre offset. But we're looking at a 2-stop hard, medium, which I don't think many people will opt to do. That means 11 laps on the medium each time and 14 laps on the hards. Could you kind of go the other way, maybe do 14 laps on the medium tyre and then go on to the softs at the end, potentially, maybe. We're looking at 22 seconds pit stop time here if all goes well. With that extra pit stop, it's quite a lot of time to lose out to go for that 2 stops. I can imagine most people will try the 1. People might try the 2 stop if we see a safety car, maybe. 100% sure on that one. So, drivers making their way onto the grid. We've got Marshy, the South African, at the back, warming up his tyres, waiting to get set ready on the grid. Rumsky arguably has got the best spot on the grid behind the pole sitter, that nice toe down towards turn one as we wait for Marshy to line up on the grid. 36 laps to race around this place, 153 kilometres, 95 miles, 7,000 feet up, 5 red lights. Gandalf on pole, Atmos alongside him, foot's flat to the floor here in Mexico City, and Gandalf does get a pretty good launch off the line, but Atmos arguably a slightly better one. But here comes Rumsky with that toe as he moves to the inside. Is he going to try and be the last of the late breakers at the front of the field? No, Gandalf stays in the lead of the race and holds position all the way down that straight, all 800 metres from the start-finish line all the way to the breaking point at turn one. Down towards turn four we go, and Rumsky in second place as we see Cold Steel fighting wheel to wheel with the Williams of Matty, our championship leader, as he now fights with the Welshman, the Looney Man, the Ferrari up the inside of Pray For Ye as well, as he holds his position in ninth place as well, going through the S section of the racetrack through 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. At the end of it, Gandalf still leads the way by about 4/10 of a second. Coming in to the stadium section at turn 12, is we going to see a move at all from anyone into the hairpin. Is Pray For Ye going to go for it here? Thought to the outside, and the Williams of O'Raf right behind him as well, squeezing in. There is another option of the pit stop strategies. They're definitely saying a 2-stop for this one now. I did do some research earlier on and tried to last couple of races or so. As we go on to lap 2, DRS available, but not until after turn 11. We'll get into the lap now. We usually like to have it off for the first lap. Gandalf not able to stay within DRS crucially down this first straight. Here comes Thunder. Thinks about a move. And we go back here, someone going off the racetrack and then Slade thinking about it. There's O'Raf and Matt F1 duking out in the hairpin of turn 13. Around the final few corners we go, and DRS available down the start finish for the first time. Here goes Atmos on his returning race into a second place position. Up the podium he goes as Thunder also overtakes Gandalf as well. And there's a car going sideways at turn one. It's Prof, who's become a cropper, maybe of his own making now, not too sure. Got himself going again, has cut the corner at turn two. Hopefully he hasn't got himself a penalty for that. And Marshy slows down to let him pass. And I think Marshy's got himself a bit of front wing damage there as well. His teammate is having a bit of a tussle here down at the start of sector 2 through 6 and now up towards 7. Been able to hold on to his position. So Rumsky quite comfortable Out in front, here comes Cold Steel as the setup option for Gandalf, the wrong one, because he seems to be an absolute sitting duck on the straight. And our championship leader, Matty, right up behind him as well. So got this jostle for second place. So Thunder, and as I said, keep saying, the return of Atmos. At the moment, being pretty reliable mid-pack scorer. Has Atmos obviously just been away for a few races and has had a pretty good show since he has been here. Obviously won in Spain, but has missed the last 4 races. It has hurt the constructors' standings is at the moment 5th place for the Sauber duo. Oh, a bit of a slide there from Rumsky through that sequence of corners. Really felt like it, right on the limit. As he comes in to the stadium section, Prof, the only driver member on the hard tyre. Oh, sorry, it was Never Fear on the hard tyre. Prof has appeared, along with a few others, as ORAF and Mass F1 duking out in the stadium section. Huge amount of battery for Mass F1 to use, though. It does seem to potentially be a bit of a thing at the moment that some drivers seem to have got the setup right and some not, as Thunder has got up into second place and only a second behind the race leader now, as he's actually starting to get slightly within that DRS range. And then we got Matty right up the gearbox of Cold Steel coming out of 4 and 5. And Thunder now within DRS range and has DRS available down that back straight into the stadium section. And 2 Silvers not too far behind either. Atmos just trying to get within that window. And eventually pits early on, so that's a committed 2-stop from the Racing Bulls driver. He's had a bit of a surge in recent races, up 3 places over the last few rounds. And starting to show a good run of form and has pit early on down to 12th place and won't be overtaken by Prof as Matty overtakes Cold Steel there. You might see a move from ORAP here as we go down into turn 4 as he looks to the right hand side on the outside and gets it done before the braking zone. And just behind as well, Never Fear and Matt, they're going for a bit of a scrap into 4 and 5. Matt holds position for now. So Atmos will have DRS to fight for the lead. It'll be interesting to see if these guys pit early on or go a bit later on into the stint. Is it possible to do a one-stop around this place at all? And Cole Seal into the pits. Decides to take the first call. Pull the pin. 3/10 now between Atmos and Thunder. He gets a good launch out of the corner and he's closing in slightly, but maybe not actually. Maybe just saving some of that battery. So Rumsky came out with a 10-second gap ahead of him. Of course, the advantage though, he's just got some clear air to pump in some decent laps, just to wait to see how the cards fall later on after the first round of pit stops. He's surely going for a two-stop here. It's going to be a medium, hard medium would be my guess. And Atmos now into the pits the lap later. So a lot of them are just trying that two-stop. We can have a little look, I think, at Thunder's tyres. He's one of the drivers we can look at with his data available. So we'll go down and have a look. The rears are screaming on most of these cars. The traction zone is obviously critical here under the surface, and the rear is really having a bit of a strain. 64% on the left rear, sorry, Thunder, for him. And Slave coming up to him now as well. So Thunder into the pits, so is Slave. Never Fear, I think, is going to take the lead of the race from Oraf, who just took it for but a moment. And the Scotsman into the lead of the race, third place, as I said, in the championship. Having a pretty good mid-season. See if he can keep this performance up into the end of the season. He has been aggressive overall, gaining quite a few places from not having such strong qualifying performances. Scoring very decent points as well, and already gained over a second over Oraf at the start of the lap. Rumsky now back into that net lead spot. There's pretty much everyone apart from Oraf and Never Fear have now pitted. And neither of them into the pits on this lap. Wonder if they're going just a little bit longer, especially Oraf, because he is on those medium tyres. 10 laps old for him. And we should see Never Fear coming in the next 3 to 5 laps would be my guess. and over 2 seconds in the lead of the race. Atmos got some company behind him. A blue and a red car behind him. The blue car becoming black for this weekend's race at the Las Vegas GP. So coming up on a third of the way through the race, waiting for Olaf and Never Fear to come into the pits. I think Olaf has just dived in. And we'll go on to a set of hard tyres potentially. We'll see what he goes on to. It is hard and it will drop him down. Bit of clean air ahead of him though. And quite a lot of free space behind him. Matty getting closer to Atmos here, and Slave, he's going for a move on the inside of Cold Steel and around the outside at turn 5 and gets the job done. Nice move there from Slave. So still a very tight mid-pack going on here. We have got another round of pit stops coming up. Never Fear, the only driver who is yet to pit as we go on to lap 13 and just cross over that third race distance. And here comes Exo Thunder, getting closer to our championship leader. One last time out in the USA. And up towards the podium places again for Thunder. And only around 5 seconds off our net race leader, Rumsky. These are the positions gained. Never Fear up 7 places, however he is yet to pit. Slave doing pretty well, 6 places for him. And this time Exo Thunder might be back into the podium places as he goes to the right hand side, and it's very easily done for Thunder, and we'll get that double dose of DRS down the next straight out of 3 and into turn 4. And now the hunt is on for our net race leader, and I imagine Never Fear will come in very, very soon. As we come into the final couple of corners, the penultimate corner, we see Never Fear stay out once again. And maintain his lead. Thunder, I think, is closing in on Rumsky. Slightly newer tyres for Thunder. Is that going to come in handy as well, pitting a bit earlier on? Gandalf getting closer. We've got Martian Diablo fighting for 14th and 15th. And Atmos has just clawed back some time as well to Thunder, who's hovering around that 4-second gap to the race leader. He will officially become the official race leader in a minute, not the net race leader. Surely this time around, Never Fear stays out again. Is Never Fear going for that one stop? The one stop that I thought might be possible. If so, he's going to try and do about 22 laps on this hard tyre. Is that going to be possible? As Atmos takes back his third place position, as we thought Thunder might start gaining some ground, and that hasn't happened to be just yet. Pray for you, losing a place to Prof, not having the greatest of races this evening. Evening, Lawnmower. Still got about just over half the race to watch, as we're just watching. I was just concentrating there with the slow response on the top two. Never Fear, though, still has to pit before the end, of course. Still hasn't made a mandatory pit stop, but I've got a sneaking suspicion he might be trying to do a one stop here, which would be pretty impressive. He's probably going to lose the lead to Rumsky this time around. Certainly he's going to lose the lead, but the bigger picture, he has got Atmos and Thunder catching up, but they are fighting one another. And Pray for Ye's in the pits, and Thunder, his teammate, moves back up into third place. A bit of dust there that kicks up from the curb as they maybe slightly miss the apex of the corner. Never Fear just moves outside the DRS range. Still about 5 laps to go until this one stop would be possible, could be possible. So I think the one stop is possible. Maybe just try to eke it out, maybe go a little bit longer than the 22 laps overall. Is that has caused the safety car, whatever it was, has that come out at a fantastic time for Never Fear? Can he go to the end? On the next set, it's 14 laps. I mean, it could be possible. It could well be possible. I was hoping that might change. It hasn't. It still just says caution set to 2, but it is a fully deployed safety car. There he is on the right, waiting to pick up the leader. You'd have wanted to get to about lap 21, 22, so it's very slightly early. But it depends how long we have this safety car for, of course. Drive through for Matt F1. Certainly not the first time we've seen drive-throughs this season from speeding under safety cars. Never Fear will pit, but what does he decide to do at this point? He's got to try and eke out that one stop, surely. It's come out at a lovely time for him. He's going to come out in second place. Others, though, might go on the hards just to make sure. As a matter of fact, it's another drive-through. So I think that might be our first retirement of the evening. Front wing change for Never Fear as well. That'll drop him down a little bit. Will come out ahead of the McLaren. Has gone on to medium tyres. Everyone around, I think, really has gone on to the hards. Never Fear hasn't got that option. He's going to have to take it very, very, very gently around this safety car. Don't warm the tyres up too much, just keep them cool for the first lap or two, however long we're going to get of this safety car. We've got Slade with a drive-through as well. We missed that one, both him and Matt, and 3 seconds for Diablo. So, a smidge over half race distance. And it will be interesting, Never Fear. Goes to the end on that tyre. Oraf still on the hards. Thinking maybe he can go to the end. How many people have done pit stops? This is just seeing a load of revving from Oraf. It's only a one stop as well for Oraf. So those two have taken a gamble. We like a good gamble on strategy. Two drivers doing the one stop. Oraf was started on the mediums. 8 laps though. He's going to get a bit of respite, and maybe the tyres will come back. We know they can do getting up to 20 laps. And they've done 8 now, one of them being under the safety car. We will have another lap under the safety car. That's good for Never Fear. He does keep his tyres very cool. He knows he needs to preserve them. He arguably just needs to not be too aggressive in the first lap or two after the safety car restart as well. So I think we are going to get going on lap 22, so it's worked out quite well for Never Fear. Would have used a little bit of life in the tyre. And got that front wing changed, so that would have took longer, so he has lost a few places, but exciting. And for Oraf as well, would he be able to keep where he is? The hard tyres can take a moment to get up to speed. Maybe I'll be a bit more than a moment, a few laps to get up to speed and feel pretty good. So he's gone through that already, so hopefully they'll just fire up and feel quite nice for the next few laps. So the safety car is going to end at the end of this lap, that's for sure. A decent portion of the race left, about 14 laps, which you know the mediums can do. So a couple of laps, of course. Keep talking about Never Fear. ORAP as well, 8 laps, 9, 10 laps it will be when we cross the line on that hard tyre. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get to the end. So, has Rumsky gone yet? No, he hasn't. As we get to the pit lane entry, he sort of left the element of surprise now. He knows he's going to go at any moment. He does get a pretty good launch. Thunder, though, he's going to have that toe. The double toe effect, which is being used quite well as he goes to the outside. Can brake later, remember, because you've got that extra bit of room to work with. Able to get any kind of move done. Looney Man, he might be thinking about it. He is thinking about it into the next corner. And then, with his missed braking, Gandalf tries to send it up the inside and gets the move done as well. And then Looney Man gets hit from behind from the racing, the Red Bull car, sorry, of Slave. Pretty clean, but arguably quite aggressive in the reopening of the race. And Never Fear's had a very good start to his stint as he gets right underneath the rear wing of the Sauber of Atmos as he surely pulls to the inside line. And is he going to be able to outbrake him? He certainly gives it a go now, gets to the apex and gets the move done up into 4th. Maybe just trying to use the tyres early on and then hopefully preserve later. It's hard to defend around this place though with that huge start-finish straight. We now make our way through the stadium section. Never Fear gets something done there, now up into 3rd. And really on the charge into the next sequence of corners. Got a yellow flag, that's the first DNF of the race. Matt F1 as we get to around 2/3 race distance before that happens. As we go down the start finish, and Atmos going past Oraf there, who's tried that one stop. Using the older tyres, got a yellow flag in the first sector. That's for Matt F1's Mercedes, I think. No, it is retired off to the left. And we've got Thunder and Never Fear scrapping for position here. He really wants a strong finish today with his one-stop strategy. As we have both Mercedes out now, down to 14. With just a smidge over 10 laps to go. It's only Thunder's second race, but really having a big impact at the moment. Oh! Never Fear around at the final corner. How on earth has he done that as he goes in towards the pit lane? Not sure how he's done that. Second front wing change for Never Fear. He comes back out onto a new set of mediums and quite a long way away from the pack. Matty in fourth place. Finishing 8th last time out. I have a slight dip in performance as Matty on the last race. He did win the round before in Hungary. He stepped on the podium in round 7, would have been round 8. Losing Imola. It was cancelled rather than postponed, as we would have had it unless it's been moved later on in the season. The two Williams doing pretty well. They're fighting for that constructors as well. A little way behind at the moment, but as it stands, they'll claw back a few more points. As we start lap 28 of 36, and as we come out of this final corner, it's Looney Man getting pretty close to the back of the pole sitter Gandalf. Just ahead, Cole Steele getting past Oraf and Pray for Ye just inside the top 10. So, just a bit of a mid-pack fight, and we're looking at a podium place fight for second and third. Rumsky sort of flown off in the distance now and is literally out of sight, maybe apart from the start-finish straight, which is coming up now. He's just in the very distance, 4.5 seconds down the road. Guys getting close enough for any kind of meaningful opportunity to overtake. So we've got this big midfield queue. The prop in sniper, or so Perry, as I didn't really realise for the whole season. So sorry to Perry for that. I've done sniper. And I only realised last week after watching a bit of the stream back that I've been saying it wrong for ages, so apologies if you do watch it, and thank you for not embarrassing me and bringing it up. So, we're about to go on to lap 30, which means 7 laps to go. Atmos, I think, will have the DRS, even though he was just outside the 1 second, but he got it. Hit the detection point. And got very close into turn 1. But not close enough into the next corner. You see this trainer cars go into 4 as well, all situated in the same positions as they were. Four tenths now. Atmos, as we come up towards the final corner. He did have very good straight line speed by the looks of things out of the final corner last lap around. May have used quite a lot of his battery though, lap 31 of 36. And here he comes now. Alongside him, and then just has to snuck back in behind the Ferrari as they come out of this corner. Maybe this time around he'll get the move done. Not really any battery though. He's forced to the outside. He tries to go the long way round. Maybe he's going to get this done and have the inside line at the next corner. Oh, they still go wheel to wheel into turn 6 and 7. Well, it's just turn 6, should I say, and into 7. Thunder holds on to the position. Atmos and Thunder are going to be charging up those batteries for the next lap around. It's all starting to get a bit more feisty towards the end. Got our championship leader Matty there as well, but he has got a 3-second time penalty as Rumsky is about to cross the line to give us 5 more laps to go. Is Atmos going to go for it this time around, and we'll get the penalties up so everyone can see what state of play everyone is in with minimal time to go. Here goes. Atmos thinks about it. Not close enough this time around. Here goes Gandalf on the outside. Is he going to be able to hold on to get the inside line? As the Williams gets out of shape, and Olaf struggling on those old hard tyres as he tries to hold on the outside of 6 now. Is he going to keep the move out of the corner as Gandalf gets a bit squirrely on the exit and then has to fall back into 7th place? As I said, getting very, very feisty towards the end, and it's coming to the boil with 4.5 laps to go in the session. The two Aston Martins trying to gain some places and hold on to their constructors' lead. You said Williams behind and just ahead of them on the racetrack. Both of them looking like they're going to score a double points finish, and maybe one of them will be on the podium, but unlikely with Matty having that 3-second time penalty. And here comes Gandalf again on a wrap on those old hard tyres as he goes the long way round at turn 1, and then Looney Man thinks about it as well. A bit of a wheel bang between the two of them, and Oraf has to go off the track and give up position. It means that Pray For Ye is going to go for it as well. Only 3 places in 4 corners as the 9 Ferrari tries to go on the outside, but here goes Oraf to defend this position. For all his might, he does have a 3-second time penalty, however, and then clout the back of the Ferrari. The old tyres for him. Not in a good place, and Prof not too far behind either. See Atmos trying to hunt down Thunder. And just waiting until the end. And here goes Looney Man up the inside of Gandalf. The move is complete. Gandalf actually getting closer to fight back, I thought there. Maybe he could have gone for the position back at the end of the straight, but he didn't. Stays where he is. So only 2.5 laps to go in the race. Looks like the race victor is already decided, unless he makes a mistake of his own accord, but he's over 5.5 seconds in the lead, and it's really a fight for second place, and this midfield fight is getting pretty interesting as well for all these points. Aston Martin top of the constructors standings and wants to keep it that way as we come down the hill into the back end of the season. Atmos getting close that time around. And again, getting closer, these two surely going to try and they're going to obviously have a bit of a fight at the end, because Atmos is going to try and get that second place on his return. 4 races out. Thunder only in his second race this season after taking the victory in the US last time around. A very decent fight. Full position is we've got a driver around. Is that Oraf? It is. Tries to go for that one stop, the hard tyres, probably right at the very end of their life, where he's only got just over a lap to go, and goes straight on into the barrier. And here goes Atmos on the final lap on the outside of Thunder. As I say, going to get that double dose of DRS. Thunder going to use Bashfi to come back in. He surely is. He's going to go for a big lunge. He might have to go for it. I've thought about it. And it does ruin his line into the corner. He'll have one more shot into the stadium section. Well, one and only shot. You say one more. He's been in second place for quite a while. Atmos pounced at the right moment. His Thunder doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. Here comes Rumsky though, up towards the line as he wins the Mexico Grand Prix and takes his opening win of the season. Great performance from Rumsky there, and is on top, 7,000 feet up in Mexico City. Thunder will finish on the podium once again. Atmos with his return. Kate's driver of the day for me with that second place position. Matty finishing in fourth will surely keep his championship lead and is still bagging some very, very decent points, just waiting for the final few. Never fear, after having that spin, will end up in 12th place. Shame for him, he had a really good opening part of the race. At one point he was going to be my driver of the day. So there is your podium in that glorious stadium section. And here is your final order of the race. Rumsky takes the victory from starting in third, that coveted third place here at Mexico City. Atmos in second after 4 races out. Thunder third after his second race this season. A 1 and 3 so far. A great start to his season halfway through. Matty in fourth, Cold Steel fifth, sixth is Looney Man, seventh is Pray for Ye, Prof is eighth, ninth is Gandalf, and 10th was Slave, 11th was Perry, 12th was Never Fear, 13th was Marshy. Oraf finished in 14th. Both Mercedes of Diablo and Matt F1 did not finish the race. So on to next week's event, Belgium. I believe it's Belgium. Sorry, let me just double check that. I feel like I'm doubting myself on that one. Bear with me. I am right. Singapore. I should have doubted myself. Singapore Grand Prix for the next one, the original night race, and we'll be back same time, same place at 8 o'clock. And keep subscribing to the channel, guys, liking the video. Enjoy your week. We'll be back next Tuesday. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.